The first thing she notices is the silence. Not the quiet of a police station. Not the background hum of fluorescent lights or distant footsteps. This silence is deliberate, engineered, thick, heavy, like the room itself is holding its breath. Ariel Jackson opens her eyes slowly. White ceiling, no cracks, no stains, no vents, just smooth, flawless white. Her wrists ache, not handcuffs but something tighter. Leather restraints, padded, professional. Her heart slams against her ribs. Okay, don't panic. She turns her head. Glass walls. One way, maybe. A single metal table. 2 chairs. No mirrors. No cameras. That's when the fear really hits. Because there are always cameras. She swallows. I want a lawyer, she says. Her voice steady despite the pulse racing in her ears. No answer. The door opens without a sound. And he walks in. Not rushed. Not aggressive. Measured. Controlled. Like a man who has never once worried about being late in his life. Tall. Broad shoulders. Black tailored suit. No tie. Hair dark. Perfectly styled. Not a strand out of place. His face is calm. Too calm. Dark eyes sweep over her. Not hungrily, not curiously. Assessing. Like she's a puzzle he's already halfway solved. He closes the door behind him and doesn't sit. Just stands there, hands behind his back, studying her. You're calm, he says finally. His voice is deep, smooth, accented, but his English is flawless. Ariel lifts her chin. That's because I didn't do anything. A corner of his mouth twitches. Not a smile. Interest. You Americans always say that. She narrows her eyes. And you are. He steps closer. Not invading her space. Yet. My name is Kang Dae-hyun, he says. And no. You don't need a lawyer. Her stomach drops. That confirms it. This isn't police. Then let me go, she says. He tilts his head slightly. If I intended to let you go, you wouldn't be here. Her pulse spikes, but she keeps her voice level. Kidnapping an American citizen is a bold move. He chuckles softly. You weren't kidnapped. He gestures toward the restraints. You were detained. Her jaw tightens. By who? His gaze locks onto hers. By me. If you're already hooked and want the next part, pause right now and hit like and subscribe. This story only gets darker from here. And you won't want to miss what he asks her to do next. Dae-hyun circles the table slowly. Ariel tracks him with her eyes, refusing to look away. You're a cybersecurity analyst, he says casually. MIT graduate. Recruited by a U.S. defense contractor at 23. Left after refusing to falsify a breach report. Her breath catches. He stops behind her. Moved to Seoul 18 months ago. Freelance work. Quiet life. His fingers brush the back of her chair. Not her skin, but close enough. You specialize in disappearing digital footprints, he continues. Erasing people. She swallows. I make companies compliant. He leans down. His mouth is near her ear now. No, he murmurs. You make ghosts. A shiver runs down her spine. He straightens and moves to the table, finally sitting. That's why you're here. She exhales slowly. If this is a job offer, you've got a strange recruitment process. His eyes darken. This is an evaluation. He slides a folder across the table. It stops just short of her restrained hands. Tell me, he says, how long would it take you to erase someone completely? She doesn't answer. He waits. The silence stretches. Finally, she says, depends how badly they deserve it. Something flashes in his eyes. Approval. Good answer. He opens the folder. Inside are photos. Men. Some bruised. Some bloody. One, unmistakably dead. Ariel's stomach turns. You recognize any of them? He asks. No, she says quickly. He studies her face. You're lying. Her voice sharpens. I've never seen them. That's not what I asked. He leans forward. Which one scares you the most? Her breath stutters despite herself. He notices. Of course he does. He closes the folder. Relax, he says. They're not your problem. Then why show me? Because, he says calmly. One of them is looking for you. Her blood runs cold. That's impossible. Is it? He stands. moves closer. This time he doesn't stop at the chair. He reaches out. His fingers lift her chin, gentle but unyielding, forcing her to meet his gaze. This man believes you erased something that belonged to him. His thumb brushes her lower lip. Not sexual. Possessive. He's wrong, she whispers. I know. His eyes hold hers. That's why you're still alive. Her breath trembles. What do you want from me? His voice drops. I want you to make him disappear. Her heart pounds. That's illegal. He smiles then. Slow. Dangerous. So is touching classified American servers from a Seoul apartment at 3 a.m. Her face drains of color. You've been busy, he adds. She stares at him, realization crashing down. This man didn't find her. He's been watching her. For a long time. He releases her chin and steps back. I'll give you time, he says. Think carefully. He walks to the door, then pauses. Oh, and Ariel? She looks up. If you try to run. His eyes flick briefly to the restraints. You won't get far. The door closes. The silence returns. But now it's louder. He didn't threaten her. He didn't have to. Ariel loses track of time. There's no clock, no window, no sound beyond her own breathing. The restraints aren't tight enough to hurt, just tight enough to remind her she's not in control. That's intentional. She exhales slowly, forcing her thoughts into order. Think, observe, survive. This isn't a police interrogation. This isn't a ransom situation. This is a test. The door opens again. This time, Kang Daehyun isn't alone. Two men enter first. Silent, broad, black suits, earpieces. They don't look at her. They take positions by the wall like statues. Then he walks in. Same suit, same calm, but something about him has shifted. Sharper, colder. He carries a tablet instead of a folder. Still calm? He asks. Ariel lifts her chin. Still innocent. He taps the tablet. The screen lights up and her world tilts. Her laptop, her apartment, a live feed. She freezes. You bugged my place, she says. No, he replies smoothly. I secured it. Her pulse roars in her ears. You're violating American privacy laws? He interrupts softly. You violated them first. He walks closer, angling the tablet so she can't look away. Code scrolls down the screen. Her code. Encryption layers she designed herself. Perfectly dismantled. Her breath stutters. No one should be able to. I didn't, he says. You did. She looks up, confused. You left a fingerprint, he continues. Not digital. Behavioral. He taps once. A heat map appears. Your hesitation points. Your rhythm. The way you pause before executing irreversible commands. His gaze locks onto hers. You hesitate before destruction. Her throat tightens. That makes you different. If this tension has you locked in, like and subscribe now. This story is unfolding exactly how he planned it, and you're about to see why. He sets the tablet on the table. Do you know why I don't work with hackers? He asks. She doesn't answer. They're impulsive, he continues. Greedy. Reckless. He leans forward, forearms resting on the table. But you, he says quietly, only erase when you believe it's justified. Her voice comes out low. I don't kill people. He studies her. Neither do I, he says. The lie or truth hangs between them. He straightens and nods to one of the men. The restraints unlock. Ariel gasps as circulation rushes back into her wrists. Stand, Daehyun says. She hesitates. His eyebrow lifts. She stands. The second man moves behind her. Not touching, just close enough that she's acutely aware of him. Daehyun circles her slowly. You want to know why you were chosen? He asks. Yes, she says. Because you understand restraint. He stops in front of her. Spread your feet, he says calmly. Her heart slams. What? Wider, he repeats. The command is not sexual. It's authoritative, evaluative. Every nerve in her body lights up. I'm not. Now, he says. Something in his tone silences her resistance. Slowly, she obeys. He crouches in front of her, eyes level with her knees. Not touching, just watching. Balance, he says. You favor your left side. She stiffens. I had a knee injury. I know. He stands, stepping into her space. Close. Too close. You compensate instinctively, he murmurs. You adapt. His fingers lift. Stop just before touching her collarbone. You don't panic under pressure. His gaze drops briefly. Your breathing gives you away, but you don't break. Her skin prickles. This isn't desire. It's something worse. Recognition. He steps back. Sit, he says. She does, heart racing. This man, he continues, tapping the tablet, believes you erased $30 million from his offshore accounts. I didn't. I know, Daehyun says. You rerouted it. Her eyes snap up. He smiles faintly. To disaster relief shell companies. Very clever. Her voice shakes. He was laundering money. Yes, Daehyun agrees. For human trafficking. The word lands heavy. He wants you found. Daehyun continues. Broken. Used as an example. Ariel's hands curl into fists. And you? I want him gone. Silence. You want me to frame him, she says. No, he replies. I want you to expose him. Then erase him. Her breath catches. That will put a target on me. He leans in. My protection is not optional. His gaze softens dangerously. If you accept, he says, no one touches you without my permission. Her pulse spikes. And if I refuse? He straightens. Then you leave, he says calmly. And I stop protecting you. The room feels colder. You're forcing me. No, he corrects. I'm offering you control. She stares at him. You're not afraid of me, he observes. I should be, she says. But you're not, he repeats. She exhales. Because I think you're worse to your enemies than to your allies. A pause. Then a quiet laugh. Good, he says. You're learning. He slides a new folder across the table. Inside is a contract. Her name at the top. Blank signature line at the bottom. Take the night, he says. Decide. He turns to leave. At the door, he stops. Oh, and Ariel? She looks up. If you sign. His eyes darken. You don't belong to yourself anymore. The door closes. Her gaze drops to the contract. Her hand trembles. Ariel doesn't sleep. They give her a room but not a phone. A bed but no locks. Water. Food. Silence. Luxury detention. She sits on the edge of the bed. The contract resting on her lap like a live wire. 37 pages. She reads every word. Clause after clause of legal precision. Employment. Non-disclosure. International jurisdiction. And then there it is. Clause 17.3. Employee agrees to submit to operational oversight, behavioral compliance evaluations, and physical verification protocols when deemed necessary by the director. Her stomach tightens. Physical verification? She flips the page. Clause 17.4. Failure to comply constitutes breach and forfeiture of protection. So that's it. Protection isn't free. It never is. She closes the folder and exhales sharply. A knock sounds at the door. Once. Not asking. She opens it. Kang Daehyun stands there alone this time. No guards. No tablet. Just him. Black dress shirt. Sleeves rolled up. The faintest shadow of stubble along his jaw. Less armor. More danger. You didn't sleep, he says. Not a question. I read your contract. She replies. Good. She steps aside. He enters. He doesn't look around. He already knows the room. Clause 17, she says. Explain it. He turns to face her slowly. It means, he says evenly, I don't protect liabilities. Her jaw tightens. You're talking about control. I'm talking about trust. She scoffs. You test trust by ordering people around? Yes. The honesty disarms her more than a lie would have. If you're still here, you're officially locked in. Like and subscribe now, because what he asks next crosses a line you won't see coming. He moves closer, not crowding her, inviting her into the space. You think this is about obedience, he says. It's not. Then what is it about? Capacity. He stops an arm's length away. Can you operate under pressure without breaking? She meets his gaze. You already tested that. No, he says quietly. I tested your mind. His eyes drop briefly. Now I test your limits. Her pulse kicks. I'm not your soldier. No, he agrees. You're more valuable than that. He gestures to the chair by the window. Sit. She hesitates, then sits. He remains standing. Clause 17 exists because my enemies don't play fair. He continues. They exploit hesitation, attachment, fear. He looks at her directly. Anything they can use against you, they will. She swallows. Including me. Yes. A beat. And I won't allow that. Her chest tightens at the finality in his tone. So what? She asks. You monitor my body now? A corner of his mouth lifts. You're angry. I'm realistic. Good, he says. Anger keeps you sharp. He reaches into his pocket and pulls out a slim black device. He places it on the table between them. A bracelet. Matte black. Elegant. Unassuming. Wearable biometric monitor, he explains. Heart rate. Stress response. Adrenaline spikes. She stares at it. You want to track me. I want to keep you alive. She laughs bitterly. By watching me panic? No, he says calmly. By knowing when you're lying. To me or yourself. Her laugh dies. That's invasive. Yes. At least you're honest. He inclines his head slightly. I don't seduce with lies, Ariel. The way he says her name sends a shiver through her. She picks up the bracelet. It's heavier than it looks. What happens if I don't sign? She asks quietly. He doesn't hesitate. You walk out of this building, he says. And within 48 hours, the man hunting you will find you. Her fingers tighten around the device. And if I do? He steps closer. Close enough that she can feel his warmth. Then no one touches you without my consent, he says. No one watches you without my permission. His gaze sharpens. And no one takes you from me. Her breath catches. That sounds like ownership. It is, he says simply. Temporary. Conditional. She looks up at him. And you? What about me? What do you get? A pause. Longer this time. Control, he says finally. And something I rarely allow myself. Her heart thumps. Which is? He reaches out. Not to touch her, but to fasten the bracelet around her wrist. His fingers brush her skin, brief, controlled. Access. The device clicks softly as it locks. A vibration pulses against her pulse point. Alive. Connected. Her body betrays her. Reacting before her mind can catch up. He watches it happen. His eyes darken, not with lust, but with focus. There, he murmurs. That response. She yanks her hand back. You said this wasn't about. It's not, he says. It's about data. He straightens. You'll sign the contract in the morning. She meets his gaze. You're very sure of that. His lips curve faintly. You haven't left yet. Silence stretches. You're not afraid of me, he says again. She exhales slowly. No, she admits. I'm afraid of what happens if I say yes. His eyes soften just a fraction. Good, he says quietly. That means you understand the cost. He turns toward the door. At 9 a.m., he adds, you'll meet the man you're erasing. Her stomach flips. He's already here? Daehyun glances back over his shoulder. In my building, he says. Directly beneath us. The door closes behind him. Ariel looks down at the bracelet. Pulses again. Steady. Watching. Waiting. Ariel doesn't remove the bracelet. She thinks about it. More than once. She sits on the edge of the bed, thumb brushing over the smooth black surface as it pulses faintly against her wrist. Steady. Rhythmic. Like a second heartbeat. Not hers. His. At exactly 8:57 a.m., the door opens. No knock this time. 2 guards stand outside. Different from the others. These men don't look like security. They look like enforcers. Mr. Kong is ready for you, one of them says. Not if you're ready. Just ready. Ariel stands. Her legs feel steady. That surprises her. They escort her down a private elevator, no buttons, no numbers. Just smooth descent. Her ears pop. Her stomach tightens. When the doors open, the temperature changes. Cooler. Darker. This floor doesn't feel like an office. It feels like a decision point. They lead her down a hallway lined with soundproof panels. At the end, a reinforced door. One guard opens it. Inside is a room smaller than the interrogation room. Concrete walls. A single chair bolted to the floor. And a man. He looks ordinary at first. Mid-40s. Expensive but understated suit. Hands cuffed behind his back. But his eyes, they flick up the moment she enters. Sharp, calculating, predatory. Recognition slams into her chest. He knows who I am. Ms. Jackson, the man says smoothly. I was hoping we'd finally meet. Her pulse spikes. The bracelet vibrates. Once. Hard. If your heart just jumped like hers did. Like and subscribe right now. This meeting changes the entire story. The guards step aside. Kang Daehyun enters last. Calm. Controlled. Untouchable. He positions himself behind Ariel. Not touching her, but close enough that she can feel his presence like a wall at her back. This, he says, is Mr. Lu Wei. Lu smiles faintly. Formerly, he corrects. But you can call me the man who ruined your quiet little life. Ariel's jaw tightens. Daehyun speaks softly near her ear. Observe, he murmurs. Don't react. Easier said than done. Lu leans forward as much as the cuffs allow. You thought you were clever, Lu continues. Redirecting funds. Playing hero. He chuckles. Do you know how many people suffer because of mistakes like yours? Her hands curl into fists. Daehyun's hand lifts slightly behind her. A silent warning. Lu's gaze flicks past her. Straight to Daehyun. You're protecting her, Lu says. That's inefficient. Daehyun doesn't respond. Silence is his weapon. Lu looks back at Ariel. I can make this stop, he says gently. Tell me where the money is. Her voice comes out steady. You already know. Lu's smile fades. No, he says. I know where it was. The bracelet vibrates again. Daehyun steps forward. Enough, he says. Lu laughs. You think killing me ends this? Lu sneers. I have backups. Networks. People who will come for her. He nods toward Ariel. Daehyun's hand lands on her shoulder. Firm. Grounding. Watch carefully, he says to her. Then to Lu. You misunderstand your position. He gestures to one of the guards. The guard steps forward and places a tablet in front of Lu. The screen lights up. Lu's expression changes instantly. Shock. Fear. Those are my accounts. Lu whispers. Were. Daehyun corrects. They now belong to international watchdog groups. Lu thrashes against the cuffs. You can't. I already did. Daehyun turns to Ariel. This, he says calmly, is why I chose you. She looks up at him. Because I rerouted money? No, he says. Because you understand exposure. He nods toward Lu. You don't destroy monsters by killing them. Daehyun continues. You let the world see them. Lu screams. Guards drag him up from the chair. Panic finally cracks through his composure. You'll regret this. Lu shouts. She's not worth it. Daehyun's gaze hardens. Oh, he says softly. She absolutely is. The door slams shut behind Lu. Silence returns. He turns to Ariel. You felt that, he says. She nods, breathing hard. Yes. Your heart rate spiked, he notes. But you didn't freeze. Her voice trembles. You planned this. Yes. You used me. Yes. A beat. And you stayed. Her throat tightens. Yes. Be real. Was this protection or manipulation? Comment below. This debate matters. Daehyun steps closer. This is the point of no return, he says. You walk away now, and I erase all traces of you ever being here. Her breath catches. And if I don't? His gaze drops to the bracelet. Then you become untouchable, he says. Because you belong under my protection. She looks at him. Or under your control. He doesn't deny it. That line, he says quietly, depends on how honest we are with each other. She searches his face. For a lie. Finds none. What do you want from me now? She asks. He leans in, voice low. I want you to choose. He extends his hand. Sign the contract. Her heart pounds. This isn't fear anymore. It's resolve. She places her hand in his. Not weak. Not submissive. Intentional. I'll sign, she says. His grip tightens briefly, approval. Good, he murmurs. Because now. His eyes darken. The real work begins. The pen feels heavier than it should. Ariel stares at the signature line. One name. One decision. No undo. Kang Dae-hyun stands beside her. Not rushing. Not watching her hand. He watches her face. That's what tells him everything. You understand what this means, he says quietly. Yes, she signs. The ink dries instantly. The bracelet vibrates longer this time. Confirmed. Accepted. Dae-hyun exhales slowly. Not relief. Satisfaction. Welcome, he says, to my world. If you've stayed with this story until now, like and subscribe. This ending hits different, and your support decides what comes next. They move upstairs. Not to an office. Not to the interrogation room. To a penthouse floor that doesn't exist on any blueprint. Glass walls. City lights. Silence. This is where decisions are made. Dae-hyun pours 2 glasses of water. Hands one to her. Drink, he says. She does. Her hands are steady. That impresses him. You're not shaking, he observes. I stopped running a long time ago, she replies. His gaze sharpens. That's why you're dangerous. He moves closer. Not touching. Never rushing. You're not my employee, he says. Not really. Then what am I? He considers her. An asset, he says. A shield. And potentially, his eyes hold hers. A threat. She exhales a laugh. Comforting. I don't surround myself with harmless people. She sets the glass down. What happens now? He gestures to a wall. The glass darkens, turns into a screen. Files appear. Names. Accounts. Networks. You help me dismantle organizations like Lou's, he says. Quietly. Legally. Permanently. And if I refuse a target? Then I listen, he says. That surprises her. You'll listen. Yes, he replies. Because obedience isn't loyalty. A beat. Choice is. Something shifts between them. Not romance. Respect. She steps closer. So that's it? She asks. No leash. His lips curve slightly. The leash, he says softly, is knowing you're safer with me than without me. Her pulse jumps. You're arrogant. Yes. You're manipulative. Yes. And you're terrifyingly calm about it. His eyes darken. Only with people I trust.